Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Well, it looks like the Warhammer 40k series coming from Amazon and Henry Cavill out there may not be quite so quietly dead as what a lot of people out there might have you think, because some new rumors are coming out there saying that things are still moving along. Now, obviously, I'm a big Warhammer 40k fan. I like a lot of that stuff. Obviously, I haven't been in the hobby near as long as a lot of people out there, but I absolutely love Henry Cavill. He is a fan of fans. He is a fan of himself. He's a nerd. He is a geek. He is one of us, and I will gladly follow him into the breach on anything that he gets involved in, especially if it's something that I'm interested in, like Warhammer 40k. So I absolutely love this universe. I really do know that I really do trust Henry Cavill to try to do this, even with the kind of crazy stuff that's going on over at Amazon and the people that are in charge over there, like Jennifer Salke and everybody else. Henry Cavill's got a lot of control over this series, and I hope he keeps all of that kind of control out there and ends up giving us a really good series going forward. But obviously, it's been kind of radio silence. The official announcements that we heard about was essentially that like they had until the end of December to hammer out a deal, and really it's been kind of quiet out there, other than some passing comments from Henry Cavill and a few interviews and stuff like that. So we have the latest rumor over here from thatparkplace.com from a very reliable source, Mr. H of the Hcast out there, who has been proven right time and time again. This is a lot of reliable sources out there pushing back against another content creators rumor out there from none other than Arch of the Archcast out there, talking about how he believes it's dead and that Amazon and Games Workshop is willing to let it die on the vine. Well, Mr. H has some new information from his inside sources out there contradicting this out there, and we'll have to see how this all ends up panning out. We will eventually obviously know who's right and what's going to happen, but for all of us out there hoping for a really good Henry Cavill led and controlled Warhammer 40k series, I think all of us can be hopefully cautious, optimistic, and hopefully Mr. H gives us a little bit of hope for this series out there. So we're going to check out this article from thatparkplace.com, get into all of the juicy details and let us know, see exactly what is going on here. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, let us know what you think about in the comment section down below. Are you hopeful for this Warhammer 40k series, or are you cautious? Are you very cautious about this, considering the fact that it's coming from Amazon and we've seen what they've done with so many of our other beloved IPs, i.e. Rings of Power? Anybody? Also, check out the description down below if you'd like to help support the channel. So from thatparkplace.com and our dear sweet John F. Trent. Rumor: Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40k live action project definitely not dead. Well, let's hope so. A new rumor cropped up claiming that Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40,000 live-action project at Amazon MGM Studios is definitely not dead. YouTuber Mr. H Reviews responded to a recent rumor from fellow YouTuber Arch, claiming that both Games Workshop and Amazon were entirely content to let the project die. At the end of September, Arch claimed, "It's been complete radio silence on the matter of the TV shows ever since we had the last update the last time around. It appears as if both Amazon and Games Workshop are entirely content to just let the project die, honestly." And it's one of them situations where it sounds like this is more like speculation than him actually having any kind of inside sources. And this kind of looks like he's looking at it from a 40,000 foot view, which honestly, it's not a bad assessment to take. It certainly seems like this, considering we haven't got any official announcements. He says, even with a 1 month extension into January, which I hadn't heard that reported anywhere except from Arch out there, and even that Park Place doesn't talk about it, so I don't know where he's getting that information from. But if they have a 1 month extension, okay, awesome. Into January, nothing seems to have been produced. Still no money is allocated, still no accounts have been created, still no contracts have been signed, etc., etc. So that's where Arch thinks are at right now. As for why there is current radio silence and no movement, Arch shared it maybe the Games Workshop got a little uppity and decided to demand their own authors be allowed to create the screenplay. Obviously, this is all just his speculation. He's not even saying this comes from inside sources. Again, the Black Labor authors are excellent book writers. I completely agree. I love the Caiaphas Cain series. I love the Siege of Terra. I love a lot of that kind of stuff. I've had nothing but good experiences with the Black Library books that I've read. Absolutely love them. Can't wait to get more. But they have no business writing screenplays, and Amazon probably knows that, and Amazon probably knows that it can't really afford another big flop here. That is an absolute fact. Rings of Power, billion-dollar disaster, but once again, this is a lot of speculation. Right now, I would say that the probabilities lean more towards the entire thing being dead than it ever being greenlit. Well, that's where Mr. H comes in, and he actually is claiming the sources, his eyes and ears, versus what we got from Arch seems like a lot of speculation. YouTuber Mr. H Reviews responded to this rumor and shared some of his own inside knowledge on the matter and claimed that the live-action project is definitely not dead. Now, notice the tone and the difference in the words that Mr. H uses versus the way Arch was talking about things. Specifically speaking to Arch's conclusion, the probabilities lean more towards the entire thing being dead than it ever being greenlit, Mr. H Reviews stated, "I can say it's actually the inverse of that." He stated, there's definitely been movement on it. Definitely movement, like 100%. My eyes and ears say that it's definitely been some movement. Can't tell you exactly what or how much, but it's the complete opposite of what Arch is rumoring anyway. It's the complete opposite of that. And notice how Mr. H actually claims his sources here. He's saying, my eyes and ears, the people I have talked to, the people I know inside the industry, the people I know close to the project, are saying that yes, there has been movement on it. Yes, things are working on it. No, there is no, it is more than likely going to happen than it actually being canceled, being the complete and total opposite of what Arch says, where, like I said, it seems like a lot of what Arch is saying is speculation and not even like actual inside sources. So Mr. H goes on and says, it's definitely not dead, guys. It's definitely not dead. I can say with certainty there's been movement, and it's contrary to what Arch is saying here. So there we go. And obviously you can go back to all of the other history of all this kind of stuff. We talk about Games Workshop and its annual report, but this is what I'm saying right here. This is my big thing with this. And Mr. H Reviews has been right time and time again. He's got a very solid track record. I don't know much about Arch's track record personally. This is only a guy that's come into my ecosphere as of recently. Obviously, being inside of the Warhammer 40k fandom, I have heard his name several times before and some of the connotations with him one way or the other. I really don't care. I don't watch his content. It's not something I really care or worry about. All I'm concerned about is your track record when it comes to rumors and speculation out there. How accurate are you? And Mr. H, I know for a fact, has a solid track record of being right on these kind of things. So I would lean to the side of Mr. H actually being right, because he's out there quoting his people saying, these are my eyes and ears and these are what are telling me. And this has been kind of backed up by a lot of this other kind of stuff. Obviously, we talked about it at the beginning of the show, about the beginning of the video, talking about the annual report, talking about where they had the end of December to reach an agreement at the end of 2024. So we just definitely know something by the end of then, no matter what. Maybe it'll be a Christmas surprise for all of this. Who knows? We'll see what happens. And obviously, they go through a lot of the different interviews where we've talked about with Henry Cavill in the past, talking about how all of this kind of stuff, just to give you the full breakdown of the full history. If you really want the full history, if you don't know what's been going on with this whole series, I highly recommend you either go check out some of my older videos or go over to thatparkplace.com and read their whole article. But basically what it comes down to is everybody's working on it. Everybody's stuff's been announced. Henry Cavill in interviews has said several times that yes, things are working on it. I can't tell you much, but we're working on things. So at the end of the day, whether or not you believe H or if you believe Mr. H Reviews or if you reach Archcast, that's completely and totally up at you. At the end of the day, I am leaning towards Mr. H out there, and the fact that his rumors and his sources out there say that yes, this is still going on, yes, this is still continuing. And like I said, I hope Henry Cavill has all of the control that we think he has over this, and we end up getting an excellent Warhammer 40k series that is properly representative and sticks to the lore. Maybe not some of the modern Games Workshop lore, but I digress. Warhammer 40k and Henry Cavill are absolute. Henry Cavill is an absolute fan of Warhammer 40k. He's a fan of fans, and he wants to see this series properly done and properly represent the fandom that we all know and love and the lore that we all know and love. And at that end of the day, I will trust him until he gives me a reason not to, and I will be cautiously optimistic about this series until Amazon and they give me a reason not to. But as of right now, it seems like everything's still green lit, everything's still going forward. We just don't know much. So keep an eye on around here, and as of December, we will definitely end up knowing something. And at the end of the day, if they give us something good quality and make the fans happy, we will make them rich. If not, we will roast them, laugh at them, and ridicule them right into the shame out of any kind of good society, and definitely out of the Warhammer 40k fandom. At the end of the day, you will get what you deserve, Amazon.